Ooh, y'all, I know it's late. It is 1:30 in the morning. And I am back with the first episode, season 3 of Young, Famous, and African. Love is in the air. Listen, I got a couple questions. Like, where's Andale? Last we checked, Andale and Zari was supposed to be a thing. And Diamond was supposed to check him, so I ain't see Connie. Like, but all right. So, all right, y'all. So the episode starts with Zari. She's telling us that she's getting married to the love of her life, y'all. And let me just say, Zari is beautiful, right? She's absolutely beautiful. So in the next scene, we see Annie. And Annie says she received an invite to Zari's wedding, and that she also says that she has more enemies than friends. And he also says that there are people in a group that feel like snakes, and she never really knew that. So Annie also says that although Zari invited her to the wedding, she doesn't trust her, and she doesn't know what Zari is trying to pull on her, right? So we see Nadia on her way to the wedding, and we see Nadia, and then we find out that Zari has invited Nadia to the wedding, and Fantana joins arrives with Nadia, and she is also invited to the wedding. And I was like, wasn't you trying to Hun Diamond had something going on last season? But okay, girl. Fantana tells us that her and Zari isn't in a good space. And I actually remember when they got into it real bad last week, but I mean last season, but I didn't know it was like some social media stuff. But again, I don't follow everybody on social media. All I do is watch the TV shows. So the ladies are in the car, Nadia and Fantana in the car talking, and Fantana was like, I thought this was a prank. No ma'am, it's not. So Fantana said in her confessional that she tells us that her and Zari had IG beef. And again, Fantana, you tried to sleep with Diamond. I mean, you and Diamond had a thing going on. I think y'all were actually sleeping together, from my understanding. But if you got an invite, girl, okay. So we see Swanky. Swanky says in his confessional that he's happy for Zari. And then we see Naked and Kelly. And of course, Kelly has moved in, but Kelly is still settling because we know Kelly wants more from Naked, but he's not willing to give her more. But that's on them, all right? So Luis is back. He was the awkward one from last season. He says that, and him and Zari has gotten really, really cool. And he said that he's happy for Zari, but he doesn't trust anybody in a friend group. He says that he's also misunderstood. But he gonna give it another go, I guess. So Swanky says that everyone should be in a better place this year. He says he's been in therapy for the last year, healing from a narcissistic friendship. He's praying that he doesn't get triggered by it. And I'm saying by it, I think he means Annie, because they fell out real bad, but they was really close. So I know he said last year was something that he overheard Annie say, a recording or something, but they have been friends too long. And I'm willing to bet once the cameras went up, one of them started to change. And if I'm not mistaken, well, I don't know. I don't want to say who I think. I just think somebody got the show in their tail, and that's how that has been mainly the demise of their friendship, which is very unfortunate. So Fantana says to Louis, Fantana says that Luis is too soft because he had a thing for her. She didn't want him. She wanted a bad boy. She wanted a diamond. I was like, girl, please. And that she felt like he could have just snatched them up from Diamond, just did something dramatic and toxic to get her attention. Fantana, no ma'am. So Nadia asked if anyone's seen Annie. And of course, we know Annie. It seems like Nadia is gonna be the bone carrier. Her and Fantana finna be the bone carriers this season because where is Connie? Because that was Connie. Connie was the messy one. So I don't know what's going on. So Annie says that she's not happy with Nadia, and her and Swanky. We see her and Swanky are cordial. That's when Annie actually arrives to the wedding. Annie look good. She do. She look good. So Annie says that Swanky is fake AF, basically. Nadia says that Annie and Swanky are being fake AF to one another. But I am willing to believe it's because you don't like Annie. Swanky is your friend. So anything they do, you gonna always call it as fake AF. Like, this is a whole thing. So Naked said that he met with Zari's dude. They show a flashback. They all, him, Kaylee, Naked, Swanky, they all went, met up with Zari and her dude at I think a party she was throwing. And Naked said that he was a nice guy. No, I'm sorry. No, Swanky said that he was a nice guy. So I don't know. The jury seems like it's still out on the fiance. So again, Nadia takes this time to some of the group members have arrived, and she takes this time to be messy. So we gonna see her as the bone carrier, her and Fantana. Anyway, I thought that. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on outside, but my apologies. I'm sorry. I thought that Zari was trying to mess with Andale because him and Andale and Diamond are really good friends. So I'm looking at the picture, of everybody who's gonna be on there. And it looks like I thought I saw Andale in the previews. I don't know, but we'll keep it moving. Zari's son comes to tell him, hey, we need to move everything over so everybody can be seated so the wedding can start. He's very handsome young guy. I did not know that Zari has 5 kids. I thought she just had those 2. Anyway, so we meet Shakib. His name is Lucia Shakib. He's from Uganda, and he's Zari's fiance. And he is cute. He's young, but he's cute. So we see Shakib. That's what I'm going to call him throughout the entire season. Shakib is a businessman working in minerals. He sells cars, and he's working in his boxing career. So before the wedding, Naked goes to have a chat with Shakib before the wedding starts. He asks, I guess Naked tried to make a joke and say, hey, are you sure? If not, I got the car outside and we can roll. If you decide you don't want to go through with it. Listen, nobody's like you, Naked. You can string Kaylee along, but everybody ain't doing that. So Shakib is asking on his wedding day that if Zari was still in love with Diamond based on the things he had saw happen in front of him. He said he might be young, but he see it for what it is. And so Shakib also says that when Zari is around Diamond, they become touchy-touchy, lovey-dovey, and cozy. He said that's when that happens, it causes disrespect to him and to Zari. So he did say whenever he actually confronts Zari about it, she apologized, and she also tells him that she would never do it again. Ma'am, you shouldn't have did it the first time. Like, So Naked asks if he's spoken with Diamond. Shakib says he don't have an issue with Diamond. He hasn't spoken with Diamond, but I feel like you do. You definitely have an issue with Diamond in the way he handles Zari, which is understandable because no, in the way Zari responds to Diamond is a problem as well. So he also understands that they are connected by their kids, but at the same time, that should all that be. Y'all should just be co-parenting. Anyway, so Naked asks, do you think that there's a small part that Diamond is still in love with Zari? Shakib says that that's a sad story. He does not want to talk about it. But, sir, you are actually about to marry her. So, I mean, if I'm feeling a way about something, I'm not going to marry anybody based on the things that I've seen. You know, you might want to do some first of all, you want to do some evaluation about this whole situation, but you also need to do some self-evaluation and ask yourself, why am I feeling like I'm finna take crumbs or whatever? I'm not saying that Zari is less than. What I'm saying is, if you see somebody disrespecting you with the father of their children, you might want to reconsider. It's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, so Naked tells Shakib that Zari doesn't want anybody but him, basically. He tells Shakib that he makes Zari feel like she's the only woman in the world. And because of that, Zari has become soft and loving. And he actually brings that out of her. And so Naked says because of all of that, that is why Zari is in a happy place. So Naked basically gives his blessing and then they toast. So everyone is entering to be seated right before the wedding start, and everything is beautiful. The outside, the decor outside, the colors, the wedding party, the people that's around, like it is nothing that was out of place that I can say, beautiful. Amazing job. Amazing from the look to the aesthetics of it. It was absolutely beautiful. All right. So Louise brings a date. The Louise date is the officiator, whose name is Zodwa. She's absolutely beautiful. So Louise says she's a good friend. She's a really good friend. And we found out that the officiator is actually Zari's friend. So apparently, it seems like Zari introduced Louise to Zodwa. And that's just that. But again, I'm going to point out that Nadia is messy. All right. So Shakib is happy, but he's also nervous. Though, again, the wedding party was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then Naked says that he wished Diamond was there to be in support of Zari, to show his kids that this is what actual co-parenting looks like. So anyway, Andy questions if he's ready to be with a woman who has 5 kids, and 3 of them are in his age bracket, and the youngest 2 are closest with their father. This was messy AF. Y'all keep hearing me say that. But I am going to say Annie was not lying. She did not tell a lie. So she says that is a lot of baggage for a very young man. A very young boy. Period. Again, where's the lie? But being that you and Zari are not in a good place, I just don't think that you were the right messenger for this. Annie has been a wee bit negative for me since she kind of been on screen, but I'm gonna let her have it. So Zari comes out, y'all. Zari was beautiful from here to here. I mean, everything was in place. The makeup was like nothing wasn't too over the top. She looked really, really pretty. And so Swanky says when she's around Shakib, she's relaxed. She feels like she respects him and she loves him, and so she lets him be the man. And we know Zari has always been like the strong boss type, but it seems her relationship with Diamond outside of the co-parenting relationship, whatever physical relationship they had, has been extremely terrible. And this is a guy who makes her feels very soft. Like you should be soft on your own, but you know, Zari seems like she has to wear many hats, and she didn't have a time and a space to be soft. So I'm happy about this. This is good. So this further again lets me know that the relationship between Zari and Diamond has always been toxic. I remember in one of them episodes where Diamond just felt like he could just come and go in her home, and you know, I don't even think that they were living together. Coupled with the fact that Diamond had a whole nother girlfriend. I don't know if it was in Johannesburg or they're actually in Johannesburg, but he had a whole nother girlfriend. Anyway, so we see Annie is ready to get the party started with Nadia. She said that she was mad at Nadia because Nadia decided to take sides between her and Swanky. And Annie just sitting there fussing. Nadia just like, or whatever, you know. So when we get inside the venue, flowers, the table, the decor, like hands down, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love to see it. So Zara actually put a place card, even though she invited Fantana, her and Diamond place card was on the end. I was like, yikes. So we see this woman, man, bad woman get out this car, and that walk was nasty. I mean, in a good way. Like the dress was fitting. She is beautiful. So she walks in the middle of the aisle, and her name is Kafiwi. And y'all forgive me. I'm trying to learn some of these new names. All right. She's Swanky's friend. She's a digital media content creator. She's an entrepreneur, author, and fashion travel enthusiast. So Nadia says in her confessional, it seems that Swanky has taken the role of introducing the new people into the group, and that she hopes that he's taken a bit more thought process on who he brings into the group, because last season the people he brought into the group, some of them was a hot mess. So Nadia also tells us that she knows Kafewi, and Swanky actually met Kafewi at a GQ event in South Africa, where he won GQ's best dressed man of the continent, which was dope. And then they show a picture of him sitting on a throne with his African attire. Man, I was like, I loved it. I thought it was nice. And so Kafewi, she actually won best dressed female, and I can see that. So Zari says Swanky inviting plus ones is getting a bit monotonous. And just to let her know, like, if you're going to invite somebody, give me the common courtesy, you know, that you're inviting a plus one. She says that this is her day. She's not going to address it today, but she'll address it sometime. She'll address it later on down the line. So Annie gets up to make a speech, which was very confusing to me, because you have an issue with this lady, and how are you getting up to making a speech? So she started by saying she felt some type of way with her invite. And I was like, at this point, this speech is very terrible. You should address whatever issues you have with Zari at a later date. And then Annie gets emotional about the whole thing. And y'all, Annie, I can't. I cannot. Anyway, so in the next scene, we see Diamond. Diamond said that Zari didn't invite him to his wedding. If so, he would have gotten them a gift or bought them a house or something. And I was like, I kind of call cap. All right. I call cap. So then Diamond is at the barbershop and Naked comes to the barbershop, talks to Diamond, asks him why didn't he attend the wedding. And no, Diamond asks Naked, why didn't you invite me to the wedding? That is not his place to invite you to her wedding. He said he was not invited. And Naked was like, well, how were you not invited? And there was a place card setting for you, and it had your name on it. And so he said that he didn't get an invite, but basically probably because of the Fantana issue. And I was like, but she invited Fantana. So what? At the end of the day, if you ask me, Diamond is mad because Zara moved on. Because at the end of the day, he was able to come and go as he pleased as it relates to Zara. And Zara never buzzed. She never moved on. She never. And even though he had a girlfriend, a whole girlfriend, might I add, he still was able to come and go as he pleased. So he says in his confessional, if he wanted her back, he would have her back. If he wanted his family back, he would have them back just like that. And I was like, really, Diamond? Because you tried it. Like, So a couple of days later, Kelly goes over to Zari's house, and they both said that they didn't think Fantana or Annie would show up at the wedding, but luckily they did. Kylie, I want to call her Kylie. Kylie tells Zara that Annie is really nice, a really nice person. She just get defensive, and she just Annie's just being Annie. So Annie meets with Fantana for lunch, and to sum this up, I feel like Fantana wants someone to be on her bandwagon as it relates to Zari. So because what's her name? Annie is the closest one who don't like Zari. She thought that that they would dislike Zari together. An enemy of my enemy is my friend. But Fantana found another loophole, and that was through Swanky. And so she asked about her and Swanky, and Annie told her how she felt. It was like, like she said, this is like a business session, but I'm gonna go tell my friend you. And then Fantana said, we didn't get to know each other or anything like that. Let's be clear, Fantana, you did not come there to try to get to know Annie. You came there so she can talk about about Zari. That's the real reason why you came there. And so she didn't really say much, but by way of that, she started talking about Swanky. And so because you're mad because now she wants to get in a better space with Annie, that I think she does, you want to go ahead and cause more confusion and wedge more of a space in between her and Swanky. I see you, Fantana. I see you, girl. So Nadia is actually meeting with Kafewe. She tells Kafewe about Annie and Zari, that they've always had drama. She tells her also that the way Annie was sitting there talking about Zara's venue, how everything didn't look right and this and that, but you all up in that lady's face. And I can see that. I also feel like Fantana, I'm going to keep saying this. This is the season for Fantana and Nadia to be extremely messy. So for me, I would think that they both gotten together to figure out, okay, I feel like, I don't know, for some reason I kind of feel like this is a takedown of Annie just on the strength of Swanky. I could be wrong. I would like to be wrong. Anyway, so we see that Annie is still hurt by Swanky, saying that she overheard, about the situation about Swanky saying he overheard Annie talking about him. Annie is not, she is hurt because that was her friend. They were friends. Check season, they were real friends. Their families knew each other. Their kids, like the way the kids responded to Swanky in season 1, they loved them. Like they were friends, and you can't just turn that off. So it's a lot of hurt. It's a lot of hurt there. And I feel like Fantana and everybody else is trying to exploit that. I also feel like they're allowing people to come in between that, especially Swanky. I think Swanky is trying to find a newer version of Annie. Instead of him just making everything right with Annie, it has gotten so out of control that they feel like that they can't even come back. And if they do, it's just awkward, like they were at the wedding. It's awkward. It's an awkward place to be in right now. So it feels like Swanky, even he did it last season, trying to find another version of Annie. It's like he's trying to show her, I have friends. You're not my only friend. And he tries to bring in the most extra person, somebody that's like him. And that's how it looks to me. Like, it's unfortunate, but that's just how it's looking to me. So Fantana was like, I don't think Swanky would lie. And she said she's going to go back and repeat everything to Swanky. And I was like, wow. So Cafe Way invites everyone to her event. But Swanky all of a sudden couldn't make it because he had a traveling thing to go to, which we know he didn't. He just didn't want to show up. So Annie comes in first. Cafe Way was like, I like her. She's a breath of fresh air. She likes Annie's energy. And I would think that this is what I think. I think that Annie's energy is different in front of Cafe Way because her guard is down. It's not up as it is with the people that she know, because the people that she know have shown her something different. She doesn't trust them. And to come in a space with somebody new, it's like, okay, Annie is probably like the opposite of most people. I'm going to trust you maybe until you show me something different. So she tries to speak. Nadia comes in. Nadia is like, what is this? So, immediately Nadia is taken aback by Annie, buddying up to Cafe Wing. And so Annie tries to speak to Nadia. Nadia is just like, girl, And then Annie feels away. But ma'am, you can't feel away because the way you came at her about the whole situation wasn't great either. Like you didn't do right. You didn't handle that situation right. So I feel like Annie actually is going to try to play the victim this whole season. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, that's going to work on my nerve. She doesn't take accountability, and that's going to work on my nerves. And that is where her and Swanky are so alike, because he won't even address it as if he's the victim. Both of y'all played a part in the demise of y'all friendship. Fix it. Anyway, so Kafewe asks Annie what did she think about the wedding. And Annie says, she gives it like a little slight hating comment, says if it's love, then she's happy. So Nadia says that was a backhanded compliment, and Annie always have something negative to say about people. So Annie and Nadia get to arguing, and Annie, I was just like, girl, just stop with Nadia, just stop. And the way Nadia was addressing Annie, I really wasn't mad at it. Annie gets her stuff and leave. And at this point, Kafewe was like, I'm over it. And I was like, girl, so am I. And she was like, what are we doing? Baby, I don't know. And this is where the episode ends. I'm going to try to bring, because it looks like I want to say all of the episodes maybe what is probably released. I didn't check. But I am going to, I don't know when I'm going to bring y'all the second episode, but I'm going to try to do it maybe tomorrow. I'm going to try to bring out the episodes, you know, so we can get through this season. Anyway, tell me what y'all think, please. I don't think I said it earlier, but please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.